Hello everybody, this is JT Productions and welcome back to another 2023 preview and prediction video. Today I'll be doing the Cincinnati Bearcats. Let's get into it. Last season, Cincinnati and Luke Fickell's last year as their head coach went 9-4 with a loss in the Fenway Bowl to Louisville. Speaking of their other losses were to Tulane, at UCF, and at Arkansas. Besides that, they had a couple of their signature wins were at SMU and against East Carolina. Now, you may notice that the schedules for 2022 and 2023 look drastically different. That's because Cincinnati, with BYU and Houston and UCF, are going to be in the Big 12 for this season and beyond. And that is why they're playing a Big 12 schedule. So they have a new head coach after Luke Fickell left for Wisconsin. Scott Satterfield from Louisville comes in. And, well, we'll see if he's able to use this talent to the best of its ability. At Louisville, he was semi-able to do that, but that was with a quarterback like Malik Cunningham. So we'll see how he's able to do that. Let's look at the roster to see what he's working with. Well, quarterback. We have a quarterback that's very similar to Malik Cunningham, Emory Jones, former Florida and Arizona State quarterback. He's transferring in to be their starting quarterback. He's a very good scrambler. Now, throwing the football, he's sort of iffy, but if he doesn't work out behind him, you have Evan Prater, redshirt junior. Running back, you have Corey Kiner. I believe he came from LSU at one point. Then you have Miles Montgomery behind him. At wide receiver, you have a couple of transfers. D. Wiggins coming in from Louisville, following Scott Satterfield. He was pretty good when he was at Miami. We'll see what he can do with Cincinnati. Donovan Ollie coming in from Washington State will also help. And then Xavier Henderson coming in from Florida, former teammate of Emory Jones. Sterling Burkhalter also coming in from North Carolina A&T will help as well. Tight end, you have Shimon Mateer. And then on the offensive line, John Williams returns. Gavin Gerhardt also does. And you have a couple of transfers. Trevor Radoshevek coming in from Penn at guard. Luke Kandra coming in from Louisville. And DeAndre Buford coming in from Kentucky. So some good pieces on the offensive line. Let's move over to the defense. All right. So Deshaun Pace and Jack Dangle are going to be your two stars returning for this team. Byron Threats will also be a good piece, but you got some transfers. Daniel Grishiak coming in from Utah State at outside linebacker. Dorian Jones coming in from Louisville at linebacker. Jordan Young coming in from Florida at corner, and DJ Taylor coming in from Arizona State. Those are some pieces that can help out to fill in the defense. So, that being said, let's look at the schedule to see what I have Cincinnati going. So, they start out the season against Eastern Kentucky. I don't think they're going to have a problem here, but I could see there being a little bit of growing pains with a new quarterback and new coach and everything like that. So I have you winning that one before going on the road the next week to play Pitt. Now, Pitt's no joke. They bring in Phil Jarkovic coming in from Boston College. You have to go there. I don't think you're going to be winning this game. I think Pitt is just too much of a talented team. You do have some talent, but it's another level for Pittsburgh. So I think you lose that one before coming back home to play Miami of Ohio. Now, this is more of your level. You're used to playing teams like this in the non-con Miami of Ohio. I think you got that in the bag to go 2-1 through the non-con. Then you start conference play. You host the Oklahoma Sooners on September 23rd, and you're going to get blown out by the Oklahoma Sooners. Dylan Gabriel is going to have an absolute masterclass. It's going to be a good welcome to the Big 12. Then you go on the road to BYU right after that. Very tough thing to do, and I think you dropped that one as well. BYU is a tough place to play, especially if you're coming from all the way across the country. So I think you go into the bye week 2-3. Coming out of it, you play Iowa State, and Baylor the next 2 games coming out of the bye week, and I think you lose both of those games. It's going to be tough playing physical teams like Iowa State and Baylor in this conference with you just coming into it. If this was a couple years ago, though, I think you'd have a better chance. Then you go on the road to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, they lost a lot of pieces, including Spencer Sanders. I don't think that's going to be a problem here. You go on the road to Stillwater, I think Mike Gundy's going to have his guys ready, and you're going to drop this one as well. Then you come back home to play UCF. At this point, you have not won a game since September 16th. You're 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're 2 and 6, trying to stay alive for bowl eligibility. I think you beat UCF at home in a pretty decent upset. In a little bit of Big 12 chaos, if you will. Because you do have talent. It's just playing teams that are have a lot more talent and depth than you is very tough. Then you have a back-to-back road stretch against Houston and at West Virginia. I think you drop both of these games. It's tough to go on the road, especially against opponents like Houston. West Virginia, not as much, but it's still very tough. Then you play Kansas at home to end the season, and I think you lose that one as well. Jalen Daniels is going to have a field day. Who knows? It could be a shootout with Emory Jones versus Jalen Daniels. I do trust Jalen Daniels to finish the game more than I do Emory Jones, though. So there you go. I have Cincinnati going 3-9. Not a good first season for Scott Satterfield in the Big 12, but there's always room for improvement. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and Go Dogs.